5 rules to find and live your spark as a Christian leader. 5 rules, 5 biblical rules to find and live your spark as a leader. Ano yung spark? Ibig sabihin yung spark, apoy. Spark, kinang. Kasi every Christian leader starts with a spark. Every Christian leader. So ito is a leader, pero marami kang makukuha dito pero hindi kasi talaga naka-design ang mga Kristiyano as sa leadership eh. Ang mga Kristiyano napakagaling na leader niyan, whether politics, whether sa school, whether sa organization, pagka ang Christian ang naging leader diyan, napakagaling 'yon. So, generally every Christian leader starts with a spark. Talagang may spark. Pagka siya na-assign na leader, may spark 'yon. It's the moment when God calls you, when vision feels clear, faith feels strong, and obedience feels almost effortless. You're passionate, you're willing, you're all in. Yun ang start ng being leader. But look at this. But somewhere along the road, ito problema eh. Many leaders don't lose their calling. Hindi nawawala yung pagtawag sa kanila, but they lose their fire. Somewhere along the way, hindi ko alam. Matanong nyo nga ako, ilang taon na akong leader? Ha? 50 years? Nag-start ako dito sa church na to, 1980. Oh, ilang taon na? Nag-ministry na ako. Pero dito sa church na to, 1980s, so ako ay ilan na? 46? 46 years. Pero parang nagsisimula pa lang ako, ano? Hindi ako, hindi naman nagayabang. Pero kasi ganon. Minsan nawawala yung fire, nawawala yung sparks. Not because they rebelled, not because they walk away from God, but because life, pressure, criticism, comparison, fatigue, and responsibility slowly drain what once burned bright. Grabe, kung alam nyo lang pinagdaanan ko tsaka ng pamilya ko nung araw, gusto ko nang sumuko. Gusto ko nang bitawan. Siguro hindi para sa akin ang ministeryo. Pero I thank the Lord, I thank the Lord. Pero maraming mga leaders, Christian leaders, ministers, elders, yung sinasabi sa Revelations 2:4, ang sabi doon eh, for you have forsaken the love you had at first. Yung first love, pag nawala yun, they lost their first love. That's the spark. That's the spark of leadership. That is the spark na dapat ang bawat isang Kristiyano hindi mawawala. It should always burn bright. The tragedy of leadership is not falling loudly. It's fading quietly. Scripture never calls us to a momentary passion. Ang passion ng pagiging isang leader, or especially Christian, hindi isang moment lang, hindi isang pangsamantalang bagay lang. It calls us to an enduring faithfulness. Dapat yung pagtatapat na yun, maging enduring. So hindi dapat natatapos. That's a good way. In Galatians 6:9, sabi, let us grow weary in doing good. Let us not grow weary in doing good. For at the proper time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So dapat daw talaga hindi tayo magsasawa na gumawa ng mabuti, especially sa leadership. Kung ikaw ay naatasan, maski na committee ka pa lang. Sabi nga ng mga anak ko lalo na yung asawa ko minsan nagagalit sa dami daw ng tinanggap kong leadership position. Isa na lang ang hindi mo tinatanggap. Yung presidente ng TODA, ka. Lahat, lahat naging presidente. Yung TODA na lang, sige, kunin mo na rin. But the fact is, the question today is not, did God call you? Hindi daw yun yung question. It's not, did God call you? The question is, how do you lead in a way that keeps the spark alive? Ganon dapat ang tanong. Ikaw ba'y tinawag ng Diyos? Hindi ganon ang tanong. Kasi tinawag kayong lahat ng Diyos. Ang tanong paano kang mag-lead in a way na mapapanatili mo yung kinang, yung apoy sa paglilingkod mo? Napakaganda, no? Grabe. How do you run hard without burning out? How do you lead others without losing yourself? And how do you finish with joy? Not just start with enthusiasm, but you finish with joy. Grabe, napakaganda naman pangarap sa buhay nun. Na makita mo yung leadership mo, hindi man lang nagmaliw kahit kapranggot. Now the Bible gives us wisdom and tested principles for leadership that last. Today, we'll look at 5 rules. Sana maging exciting to. I-anticipate. Biblical, practical, and deeply human that will help you find your spark, protect your spark, and live it out as a Christian leader. Okay? All right. Rule number 1. Bago agad. Rule number 1. Press toward your goal. Run in a way that it is all that matters. Parang, alright, para maintindihan nyo. 1 Corinthians 9:24, look at this. Sa 1 Corinthians 9:24, this is kung saan nakuha yung principle na ito. Sabi ay, do you not know that in a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? So paano ka tumakbo, alright? Paano ka tumakbo? Run in such a way as to get the prize. That's the race of life. Pagka ikaw lumalabas sa takbuhan, hindi lang ikaw upang makisama sa tumatakbo. At sabi doon, tumakbo ka para manalo. Alright? In Philippians 3:14, mas maganda yung word na ginamit ni Paul is this. First, in Philippians 3:14, sabi ganito, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me, heavenward in Christ. I press on toward the goal. So, mga magulang ko at mga kapatid, ang Christian leadership is not a stroll. Hindi ka nag-stroll. Hindi ka yung palakad-lakad, basta para lang ipakita may ginagawa ka. No, it is not casual. Hindi yun parang casual lang. Walang masyadong puso, walang masyadong lalim, or hindi ito accidental. It is a race. And Paul doesn't say, enter the race. No, hindi niya sabing enter the race. Ang sabi niya, win the race. Win the race. So, many believers are saved, sincere and spiritual, but the question is, they are not pressing. They admire their calling instead of pursuing it. May admiration pero hindi na pinupurso. They dream about purpose instead of chasing obedience. Basta yung purpose, ayan na yung purpose. Meron lang akong purpose, mag-obey pa. They want the prize but not the discipline. So, you wonder why Paul uses the word press. Ba't ba press? Press toward the mark. Sambaga, doon galing ang word na pressure. Pag sinabi mong press, so pressure is involved. Kasi ang calling mo, it will resist passivity. Passivity. Ibig sabihin, gusto talaga nun talagang under pressure. Sabi sa Hebrews 12:1, look at this. Let us run with endurance the race that is set before us. Proverbs 13:4, the soul of the diligent is richly supplied. Yung diligent, yung nagsisikap, yung kahit na under pressure, he's still pressed. Now, there are two kinds of people in life. May dalawang klaseng tao sa ibabaw ng lupang ito. Those who see what they want. And those who only see the obstacles that prevents them from getting what they want. At Tagalogin ko. Ito maganda to eh. May dalawang klaseng tao. Kasi we're pressing toward the mark. Halimbawa yung mark. May mga tao ang nakikita lang yung mark. Gusto ko yun. Gusto ko maabot yun. Yun nakikita. May ibang tao naman ang nakikita yung obstacles para makuha yung mark, yung prize. Naintindihan nyo? Both are looking at the same reality. The difference is not intelligence, it's focus. Yung focus. Yung isa nakatingin sa obstacle, yung isa nakatingin sa prize. Ganito nangyari sa Israel eh. Ganito nangyari sa Israel. Sabi ng Panginoon, ibinibigay ko sa iyo ang lupang pangako. Ang lupang pangako, pinapunta niya yung 12 spies. 12, ano ba sa Tagalog yung spies? Hindi, may iba pang ano. Tik-tik. Sa Tagalog yung tik-tik. 12. Nakita nila, napakaganda. Napakaganda. Nakita nila kung gaano kalalaki yung ubas na bit-bit, isang ubas. Nakita nila kung gaano kadaming halaman. At sabi nga, nung umuwi sila, yung pong lupain ay inaapawan ng milk and honey. Nakaisip na. Meron bang lupain na ganon na umaapaw ng milk and honey? Flowing with milk and honey. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Pag sinabi mong, the land is flowing with milk and honey, parang Australia yon. Maraming damong kakainin yung mga baka mo para napakaraming gatas ang bibigay nila at napakaganda ng lupain at napakalalaki ng mga bulaklak ng halaman na pupuntahan nyo ng mga bubuyog at gago. So in other words, it's really a rich country. And sabi ng Panginoon sa iyo yan, kunin mo yan. Nagpunta sila doon, ang nakita nila, Josue at nila Caleb, yung grupo nila, yung kagandahan. Napakaganda no, ariin natin. Sabi na, ariin natin yung 10. Nung nagpunta, nakita nila higante. Higante. Hindi natin kaya. Wag na higa. Tingnan mo, isang lugar. Yung isa nakita yung kagandahan ng lupa. Yung isa ang nakita yung hadlang para makuha yung lupa. So ito yung dalawang klase ng tao. Na minsan, yung goal mo, hindi ka nakatingin doon sa goal. Hindi ka nakatingin para makuha mo yung gusto mo. Yung pinangangarap mo na tinawag sa iyo ng Diyos para matupad mo yung kanyang kautos. Ang nakikita mo, yung hadlang. Kanya hindi mo makita eh. Yung hadlang nakikita mo eh. So sabi dito, press toward your goal. Get what you want. Race to win. Alam po niyo minsan, nayaya kami. Doon sa civil service kasi meron tinatawag na every civil service day ng September, meron pong yung run, ano ba tawag doon? Fun run. Yeah, fun run. Nakasama ka ba noon, Ian? Nakakasama si Ian eh. Alam doon sa fun run, mga lahat ng GM kasi magkakasama yan eh. Di kami nakikitakbo, pero hindi naman tumatakbo, maglalakad lang naman. So mga 5 kilometro yun eh, talagang pawis-pawisan ka dahil medyo may init pa. Ngayon nung matapos yung jogging namin, doon sa isang tabi, nagkakagulo ang mga tao. Kasi nakalagay, free arroz caldo. Ay sabi ko, una muna, usyoso ko sahog. Baka mamaya, wala naman sahog eh, pupunta pa ako. Di nakita ko, ang lalaki ng tipak nung manok. Yung pong manok na kalba, malalaki eh. naku, sarap nito. Di sabi ko, tara, pila tayo. So, gusto ko kasi, gusto ko tikman yung aros libre eh. Alam mo naman. Ngayon sabi nung isang kaibigan ko na kasama ko, pre, haba ng pila. Wag na, tara na. Mag-Jollibee na lang tayo. Haba ng pila eh. Pre, arroz caldo, lalaki ng manok. Eh, haba nga ng pila eh. Pre, arroz caldo yun, malalaki, masarap. Eh, mahaba nga ang pila eh. Mantakin mo, hindi makita yung arroz caldo. Ang nakikita niya yung pila. Kanya hindi niya makukuha kahit na ano pa yung goal niya, maniwala ka, hindi niya makakuha yung goal niya. Ganun tayo minsan sa leadership. If you want to remain that spark, focus on the goal and press toward it. Regardless of the obstacles. We are to run and not drift. All right, rule number 2. Ito rule number 2. Take care of your team. Take care of your team because you can't win alone. Romans 15:1, please. We who are strong ought to bear with the failings of the weak and not to please ourselves. So hindi ka lang dapat baka sarili. So dapat alalayan mo yung mga mahihina. If you want to win, you do not win alone. In Galatians 6:2, carry each other's burden and in this way, fulfill the law of Christ. So you have to carry each other's burden. Lalo na yung mga mahihina, alalayan mo yan. Kasi pag akala mo, akin, para sa iyo lahat yung credit, eh hindi ka, walang kwentang leadership yon. Christian leadership is not being the strongest person in the room. It's about making sure no one is left behind. Alam po ninyo, the world, every organization, the world celebrates independence, but the kingdom of God is built on interdependence. Dapat talaga magkakasangkap kayo as one body. Meron talagang purpose ang bawat isa and you must always see that na alalayan mo yung tao, lalo na yung mga mahihina. From the beginning, God has made it clear. Talagang in-establish na yun. Sinabi niya nga sa Genesis 2:18, it is not good for man to be alone. Bakit kayo nilagyan ng isang It's not good kapag mag-isa ka lang. And in Ecclesiastes 4:12, sabi, a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. So dapat you should take care of your team. That's one of the finest rule of leadership. The strongest leaders understand one truth. You cannot fulfill God's calling by yourself. Akala ng iba kasi kaya nilang mag-isa eh. Yun ang downfall ng mga maraming leadership. Pagka nag-start kang mag-isa. Alam niyo po yung US Navy SEAL? Sabi dito, the US Navy SEAL is among the most elite teams on earth. Grabe. No. Kung napapanood yung Navy SEAL sa TV, itong mga taong to is the most elite, pinakamagaling, marunong. So, they were once asked, may nagtanong na isang journalist. Ang tanong niya is this, who actually makes it through selection? Kasi sa Navy SEAL may selection eh, parang recruitment, di ba? So, nag-a-apply. Pero dahil pinaka-elite, lahat talaga ng mga pipiliin dito eh, yung siguradong magagaling, di ba? Siguradong magagaling. So, sinong nakukuha kadalasan? Mga, ano ang mga qualification na nakukuha? Ang sagot ng isang Navy SEAL is this. Their answer was telling, isang sagot nila ito, I can't always tell you who makes it through, but I can tell you who doesn't. Hindi ko masasagot sa iyo kung sino talaga ang pumapasa, pero itong masasagot ko sa iyo, yung mga hindi pumapasa. Alright? Ito nakalista. Number 1, the loudest guys trying to prove toughness don't make it. The loudest guy, yung pinakamaingay na tao, na parang ipakilala na kayabangan niya matibay siya. Hindi pumapasa yun. The self-proclaimed leaders who boast others around, don't make it. Yung mga boss na palaging utos ng utos dun sa mga kasama niya, hindi pumapasa yun. Isang araw pa lang ng training, pinalalayas na sila. The gifted stars who only took out for themselves, don't make it. Yung mga gwapo, yung mga pasikat, dahil kasi mga, maganda mga personality, don't make it. Now sabi, sino? Who does? Now look at this. Here's the answer. Those who, when they are physically drained and emotionally spent, still find the strength to help the person next to them. Ang pumapasa lang ay sa kabila na ng hirap na nararamdaman nila sa training. At may nakakita silang may isang nahihirapan, hindi siya tutuloy at tutulungan niya yung kasama niyang makapunta dun sa goal. Yun ang pinipili. Grabe, gusto niyo maging SEAL? Ganun. Gusto niyo maging Navy SEAL? They believe in the fact that they are to take care of the team. Kanya nga napapanood ko yung ng mga SEAL na pagka may namatay sa kanila dun sa talagang actual war, hindi iiwan yon. Pati yun dadalhin nila kasama nila. That's how they are. They take care of the team. So that's the difference between individuals and team. And that is biblical leadership. Sabi sa Mark 10:43-44, look at this. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great among you must be your servant. And whoever wants to be first must be slave of all. Napakaganda nun. Kailangan daw servant. That's the servant leadership. That's the servant leader. Yun ang punto ng Panginoon, that you are to take care of the team because you do not win alone. Do not look down unto your own interests, sabi sa Philippians 2:4, but also to the interest of others. Elite teams are not built on talent alone. They are built on trust, sacrifice, and shared suffering. So if you want to lead well, stop pretending you don't need help. Stop rewarding lone heroes. Panahon na para magisik pa. We are to stop awarding yung mga nag-iisa at gustong maging sikat. Start creating a culture where people carry each other. There should be no division in the body, sabi ng 1 Corinthians 12. If one suffers, every part suffers with it. And if one glories, every part glories with it. So in other words, nagko-complementarihan sila. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If your leadership burns people out, it's not anointed, it's unhealthy. Kung yung mga kasamahan mo nabubwisit sa'yo, hindi ka bagad ng leader. Strong leaders lift weight, but great leaders distribute it. So take care of your team. Why? Because the mission is too big, the road is too long, and the calling is too sacred to walk alone. So here's the point. Take care of your team. Gaano ka ba dapat mag-take care? Sabi nga doon Sabi ni Christ A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Even as I have loved you, that you also love one another. By this all men will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another. Grabe. Akala mo napakababaw. Pero si Kristo sabi niya, as I have loved you, we love one another. So ang pag-ibig mo sa team mo, those who are trying to help you accomplish your goal, dapat talaga yung matindi na handa mong ibigay ang buhay mo para sa ka-team mo. Do you understand that? You are to take care of your team. Dapat handa mo ibigay yung buhay mo, yung bahay mo, and yung bulsa mo. That's how it is if you want to win. All right, let me give you rule number 3, and this is where I end, siguro. Humabang masyado. Rule number 3, gustong-gusto ko to, is this. If you want to establish, find, and leave your spark as a leader, be the last to speak. Earn the right to be heard by being the last to speak. In James 1:19, sabi, let every person be quick to hear, but slow to speak. Proverbs 17:27, whoever restrains his words has knowledge. So if you want to remain burning in your leadership, then be the last to speak. Because in leadership, silence is not weakness, it's discipline. Kanya ako naniniwala pa rin ako dun sa salitang, less talk, less mistake. More talk, more mistake. No talk, ay hindi naman. No mistake. Alright, pero ito yung principle na gusto ko lang sabihin sa inyo. The loudest voice in the room is rarely the wisest. Tandaan ninyo yun, ha? Yung pinakamaingay, hindi marunong yun. It's usually just the most insecure. Godly leaders don't rush to speak because they don't need to prove anything. They understand this truth. Influence grows when people feel heard. Kung gusto mo makuha ang influence mo, pakinggan mo lang ang sinasabi niya. That's how it is. That's how it is. Now, ito yung paborito ko dito eh. Kilala niyo si Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is he is the first pioneer president of South Africa. And napakagaling niya, grabe. Babasahin ko lang, kinuha ko sa Wikipedia to eh, pero gusto ko bagusin. Over the course of his life, Mandela was given more than 250 awards, accolades, prizes, honorary degrees, and citizenship in recognition of his political achievements. Among his awards were the Nobel Peace Prize. Grabe, presidente, bihira yon. Magkaroon ng Nobel Peace Prize kasi siya yung lumaban sa anti-apartheid, yung sa tinatawag na racial discrimination which is so prevalent sa Africa. Dahil maraming mga puti, mga French, talaga, dilabanan niya as president. And the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom, that's the second most highest award na po pwedeng ibigay sa tao. Binigay ng presidente ng US yon. And the Soviet Union Lenin Peace Prize, grabe. 250 lahat yung mga nakuha niya. 3 lang ito sa pinaka-nauuna. And that's how great Nelson Mandela is. By the time of his death, within South Africa, Mandela was widely considered both the father of the nation and the founding father of democracy. Outside of South Africa, he was a global icon and the founding father with the scholar of South African studies, Rita Bernard described him as one of the most revered figures of our time. One biographer considered him a modern democratic hero. Some have portrayed Mandela in messianic terms, in contrast to his own statement that I was not a messiah, but an ordinary man who had become a leader because of extraordinary circumstances. But an ordinary man, he is often cited among Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., as one of the 20th century exemplary anti-racist and anti-colonial leadership, and Boehmer described him as a totem of the totemic values of our age, toleration and liberal democracy, and a universal symbol of social justice. That's Mandela. Ang pinakagusto ko dito kay Mandela, kasi si Mandela, anak ng isang chieftain. You know? Tribo, anak siya. Nakikita niyo yung tatay niya pag nagmi-meeting. pag nagbi-meeting yung mga leaders ng tatay niya, doon sa tribe, nakapaikot sila in circle. Nakapaikot. He said he watched his father, a tribal chief, conduct meetings. Everyone sit in a circle, and his father was always the last to speak. Hinahayaan niya lang muna sila magsalita. Lahat. Tahimik lang yung daddy. Lahat, pag nagsalita na yung lahat ng mga leaders, and then obserbahan niya, tatay niya magsasalita. At napaka full of wisdom. Kanya naging magandang leader. Kayo pag nagbi-meeting, pang ilan kayo sa nagsasalita? Pang last ba kayo o kauna-unahan? Now look at this. Now sabi niya, that wasn't accidental. It was intentional. Talagang yung dad niya, doon niya nakuha. When a leader speak first, everyone else edit their truth. So pagka nag-unang nagsalita, ang leader, ikaw, lahat sila i-edit yung sinasabi mo. Pero pag ikaw, ang huling nagsalita, lahat ng sinabi nila pwede mong i-collate, tignan mo yung strong points, tignan mo yung weak points, and pag nagsalita ka, grabe. And that's the secret of leadership. Sa Proverbs 18:13, in fact, sinabi ito to answer before listening, that is a folly and shame. He who answers before listening, look at this, what? That is folly and shame. Sumasagot ka na agad, wala pa. Wala ka pang pinagbabatayan. Pero yung nakikinig, yung hindi mo na nagsasalita, at tinitignan at sinasabi ng mga iba, ibang klase yun. Being last to speak does three powerful things. Number one, it creates a psychological safety, sabi dito. People share honestly when they don't fear correction and contradiction. Let them speak and do not interfere. It reveals the full picture. Wisdom is rarely found in one voice. It emerges from many. Tandaan niyo, wisdom hindi manggagaling lang sa isang tao. Manggagaling sa maraming mga voices. And thirdly, being the last to speak gives weight to your words. When you finally speak, your words clarify instead of compete. Kasi nakita mo na lahat sila, na-i-weigh mo na lahat, na-subtract mo na lahat, and na-clarify mo na pag nagsalita ka. That's, I think, magiging pinaka-wise sa lahat. So pagka nakikipag-meeting ka, tandaan mo itong tatlong bagay na ito. Okay? Here it is. Pagka nagsasalita ang iba, don't nod approval or disapproval. Kasi kahilig natin. Wag daw. Pabayaan mo silang magsalita. Wag mo silang i-distract. Don't interrupt or finish sentences. Wag kang nag-a-add. Hindi niya na maisip yung word, ikaw mag-a-add. Wag! Okay? Kahilig kasi natin dun Nag-i-interrupt pagka nabablanko siya. Hayaan mo siyang magsalita at matapos. Ask question only to understand, not to control. So those three. Remember that. Don't nod approval or disapproval. Don't attempt to finish any sentence. Or ask question only. Ganon si Christ. Alam ba niyo na ganon si Christ? Alright, may ganyan. Bata pa lang si Christ, ang hilig niya lang makinig at magtanong. So, nandiyon sa Biblia yun. Buksan mo yun. Sa Luke 2:46, look at this. Bata pa siya doon. After 3 days, they found him in the temple courts, sitting among, what? The teachers. Sino nagsasalita rito? Mga teachers. Listening to them and asking them questions. Hindi siya nagsabi ng kahit na ano. He's just listening and asking questions. Ganon ang style niya. There was once sa life niya may nangyari, and this is very, very important. May dinala sa kanya na babae na nahuli sa akto ng pangangalo niya. Alright? Kinaladkad nila yung babae. Hindi ko alam paano pagkaladkad. Pero dahil marumi sa kanila yung babae, that's just kakalat ka rin yun sa harapan. And sabi nila, Rabbi, itong babaeng ito nahuli sa pangalo niya. Sa batas ni Moses, inuutusan kami. Sa batas ni Moses, nabatuhin siya hanggat sa siya'y mamatay. Anong sasabihin mo? Anong sagot mo? Sumagot ba siya agad? Natatanda yung sagot ni Christ. Ano sagot ni Christ? Hindi siya sumagot. Ang ginawa niya, yumuko siya sa lupa. Pagkatapos may sinusulat na hindi naman mabasa lang kahit na sino. Basta nagsusulat lang siya sa lupa. And then tumayo sa, tanong na naman sa, anong gagawin mo? Anong gagawin mo? So sa tagal niya pagsagot, ito yung sinagot niya. Simpleng word, kapraso. Kung sino sa inyo walang kasalanan, maunang bumato. Grabe. Kahit paano mong isipin yung sagot na yun napakatindi nun Ba't niya naisip? Kasi hindi siya sumagot agad. Tinitingnan niya pa lang. Siguro pinag-aralan niya tao, inisip yung mga tanong nila, yung mga sinasabi nila, kung ano-ano pinagsasabi. And then suddenly, kung sinong walang kasalanan sa inyo. Ano nangyari? Umalis sila lang. Gotta be the last to speak. Be the last to speak. Leadership isn't about having the fastest answer. It's about giving the right one. So speak less. Listen longer. And when you finally speak, make it count. That's leaders. Yun ang magandang leaders. So may dalawa pa. Tapusin na natin. At the time na raw. So, alright. I-retain ko na yung dalawa next time. Pero, just like to tell you, first of all, tandaan niyo ito, if you're a leader, establish your goal and press toward it. Run to win. Not just run to enter the race, but run to win. Second, take care of your team. Take care of your team. Mahalin mo sila. Mahalin mo sila. Let their joy be your joy. Let their sufferings be your suffering. And last of all, be the last to speak. Let them be heard first before finally you speak. Hindi mawawala yung spark mo. You will not be burning them out, and you will not burn yourself out, because that is the true definition of leadership. Let's all stand up. Father, no Father in heaven, alam namin ng isa sa pinakamahalagang characteristic ng isang leadership na kailanman hindi nag-burn out, kailanman hindi nang lupay-pay. Walang iba kundi ang yung bugtong na anak ng aming Panginoong Jesucristo na naging masunurin, nagampanan ang layunin na kanyang pagparito, naging masunurin hanggang sa kamatayan. Oh, Father, sana yung example na yan manatili sa amin. Help us, Father, sa mga rules na ito so that we may remain the spark of our leadership to press toward our goal, to take care of our co-workers, our team, and to consider listening greatly from others before we finally speak. Oh, Father, sana sa mga leaders na nandito at ang mga Kristiyano na nasa isang tagapanguna, whatever it is, Father, sana ikintal namin sa isipan namin ang mga salita. Sa pangalan po ni Jesus. Ang biyaya ng ating Panginoong Diyos, ang pag-ibig ng kanyang bugtong na anak, na ating Panginoong Jesucristo, ang ilaw at tanglaw at liwanag ng Espiritu Santo sa maating panglahat